Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Over the past few years, modular lighting tiles have become gradually more popular as they are just very cool in terms of how they can be easily rearranged into any shape and add a touch of lighting and ambience to a room. They were first popularized by Nanoleaf, and over the years we started to see the prices start to dip as more competitors have made alternatives, and today we're taking a look at a version like that, which sells for under 75 bucks for a kit that includes 6 different tiles in the box. Although the size of the tiles are a touch smaller than the original Nanoleaf versions, they can still be rearranged to different shapes, controlled using a remote, and stuck onto different surfaces, and they are RGB so you can change them to different colors as you see fit. Each tile is rated at 120 lumens for the brightness. Of course, you can also expand on the set by purchasing more tiles in the future and just adding more elaborate and larger designs onto bigger rooms and walls as you see fit, so they are modular and expandable in that sense. So the box here is quite simple. On the inside here, I see just the remote, which is simple enough and you can use to control different timers as well as go through the different colors. Got a simple quick start guide along with the power supply, and it seems to be USB type A to type A. And finally we have just the tiles, which are all individually wrapped. Each of them have their individual 3M sticky pad, which is reusable and can be attached onto the surface of any flat wall pretty easily. And then these connectors is how you can basically connect more of these tiles together, although one of the sides of this basically hexagon is reserved for a standard type A port for providing power. You only need to plug in one of the tiles and then you can hook up the rest and all of the tiles will light up. We'll take a closer look at the design later, but overall it has a very clean shape, constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic. Aside from all of the other tiles that we can unwrap, we also see the connectors inside, so this is how you can link the tiles together, basically attaching one of these pins onto any of these 5 other slots, and then the other side can be connected to the next adjacent tile that you want to stick onto it. A brief jump cut, we've arranged the tiles and connected it to power, and all the tiles here are touch sensitive, so you can tap on them individually to light them up if you don't want to use the remote, for example, and interact with them separately, and afterwards you can continue to tap on the tiles to change the colors independent of one another. It will cycle through red, green, blues, purples, yellows, and then back to a white light. Overall, it's definitely more of a mood light or an atmospheric light rather than something that you can rely on for, say, reading, but great as a mood light and adding some bit of color in the background. Otherwise, you can see that dimming the lights here, it does create a very cool effect, especially in the dark, and again, it's pretty fun to just interact with these tiles and just go through the different modes. Of course, you can also control the lights using the remote. If you want to change all of them to a single color, you can go through the options presented here, and it can cycle through one at a time. They all create a pretty cool effect. Brightness level, so this is the maximum brightness, but I can also make it a bit dimmer as well, depending on how intense I want the lights to be, although there's not a huge variance between that. There's also a few special effects, including a fade mode that will slowly oscillate between the different colors that it's capable of presenting, slowly transitioning between them. It is a pretty cool effect. The next one over is a bit more abrupt. It's called jump, and it just will change between the colors. You can see sometimes the tiles aren't going to be 100% in sync since they technically all have a separate microcontroller or a dedicated small processor on each of these tiles, and that's why you're able to rearrange them. You know, you can use just one or you can use many, so they are functioning independent of each other for processing. Otherwise, there's also a flashing mode that is going to be a bit more jarring, but will randomly basically pop along and change the colors in these patterns. And you can also, of course, turn the entire light on or turn it off. So this can all be controlled using the remote. It will also remember the last pattern that it was on. Alright, so thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of this LED tile-based mood lighting kit. And overall, again, it's a nice rival to more expensive options, such as the aforementioned Nanoleaf kits, which typically sell for, say, $200 or $300, whereas this one is starting at a much lower cost. But if all you need is something a little bit smaller in terms of the scale, this can still provide a very interesting atmospheric mood light to add some ambience into a room. Works very well in terms of the space if you have it on the wall next to a desk, behind a TV, even in the bedroom. You can, again, freely arrange these tiles to create any shape or pattern you like. Of course, a few limitations here would be, first of all, the fact that these don't come with a companion app, so you can't, say, control them using Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything like that. But again, at this price range, I would say it's acceptable, and if you can make do with that, it still remains a pretty attractive, unique LED light design. You can check out more details if you're interested in the links below. For now, that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.